My dad was a coolie. As my dad was finding it difficult to meet both ends of the family, I ended up doing coolie job at the age of 10 with him. Three-time meal was a distant dream during my childhood days. Breakfast was a luxury. I had to walk miles to my school. Government's midday meal scheme was the biggest motivation factor for me to attend the school. I was very poor in my studies. I was a school dropout. I later went back to school and ended up becoming a school topper in less than 1 year. I then ended up doing engineering and computer science from NIT Calicut. I had a campus offer from a company called Manhattan Associates in Bangalore. I handed over my first month's salary to my dad. He literally cried seeing that money because he had never seen that kind of money in his lifetime. I then worked with few MNCs in India, Middle East, and Europe. Decided to come back to India with an objective of creating employment for smart kids from my village. During the same time, I also ended up doing my MBA from IIM Bangalore by chance. I then, the same time, my cousins were running a small time kirana store in a place called Indiranagar in Bangalore. We were discussing about various business ideas with my cousins, who used to be my childhood friends as well. Various ideas we discussed, but we could not launch anything during those time. One day, one of the cousin mentioned about a problem that he is facing in the store, in his kirana store. There was this idli dosa batter supplier who was supplying idli dosa batter in a plain pouch with a rubber band on the top. You'll still see in some part of Delhi and Mumbai. This batter had all sort of quality issues, service issues, and hygiene complaints. You'll also find a sticker outside the batter. Sometimes the sticker would be even inside. My cousins tried to fix the issue with the vendor multiple times. It didn't work out. That's when we thought, why don't we try to do it ourselves? So we started very small. All what we had was 50,000 rupees. With that money, we bought one grinder, one mixer, one weighing scale, one sealing machine, and a second-hand scooty. Our job was to go to market every day, buy rice and dal, come back, clean it, wash, soak, grind, mix it, ferment it, and then pack it. Next day morning, load it on the second-hand scooty, go to the market ourselves and sell it ourselves. It was a back-breaking work. Our shirt would be soaked in sweat, but we really enjoyed doing it. It took us 9 months to get 20 customers. It took us 9 months to sell 100 packets a day, but we didn't give up. We were pretty confident that we'll be able to make it success one day in future. That's the past. Today, ID is a $200 million brand, close to 1,500 crore brand, serving world's best breakfast, idlis, to more than 1 million Indians every single day. How did we create this brand without spending money? How did we bring in innovation in an idli business? And how did we build this brand? How are we managing the situation during COVID times? So in the next couple of minutes, around 20 to 25 minutes, I'm going to share a couple of stories with you on how we built it and how did we focus on innovation. I hope these stories will help you in your life to become better leaders and better human beings. First thing about how we built ID. This would be the DNA of ID. These 7 important principles that we followed. Right set of people. We got the right mix of people who are entrepreneurial in mindset as well as professionals in the talent. We ended up doing the right product. Product selection is extremely important in any business. We all know about it, right? But then most of the time we ended up doing over engineering of the product. Indian homemakers is the gatekeeper for the kitchen. She won't let idli inside her kitchen on a regular basis. She's okay to buy idli batter, make idli, fluffy idli, and serve hot steaming idli by adding her love and serve to the family. If idli comes out well, she gets a credit, not ID. And if for some reason, if dosa is not crispy enough, she can blame it on me, brand ID. What I've learned is never try to sell idli to homemaker in India. Give her idli batter. If I had to extrapolate that, never try to replace the role of a customer. Help your customers to do the job better. Do not over engineer is what I've learned from this one. Is our biggest asset today. We did set up our own distribution system driven by technology. Technology played an extremely important role in building ID business. Our branding and packaging was the key from day one. We focused on the right product, the right packaging, with the right branding, right color combination from day one. That really worked out. Today's subject is about innovation. Innovation is what I'm going to talk about today. But then before I talk about that, there is seventh point, which is most important point, which is an uncompromised approach to ethics. I'll be proud to narrate the story to my grandchildren one day in future that I am part of a team who built a multi-billion-dollar business without taking shortcuts, without taking compromise. So my message out here to you is never take shortcuts. That is not the way to build, not the way to build a brand. Coming to the subject of the day today, innovation. We all talk about innovation, right? We think innovation is a very difficult thing to handle. It is actually meant only for some specific set of companies. That is not the fact. Everybody can innovate. All what you need is something called common sense. Common sense is the most uncommon word in the world these days. But common sense is the most important ingredient for innovation. If you have common sense, you will look around, identify customer problems, and then will use common sense to solve it. That is the best way to build a strong brand and to stay ahead of competition. Let me give you some classic examples of ID's innovation journey. So I would like to structure the innovation discussion into these 5 aspects for the day. How we focused on product innovation, packaging, our marketing, technology, and backend. First thing about the product innovation. We try to bring in a homemade batter into a pack made using traditional approach. To get the best batter, you need wet ground using stone grinders. So we use stone grinding technology to make best batter without compromising on the product quality. That really worked out for us. We were actually trying to change the mindset of the customers from a homemade batter to a batter in a pack. When the whole world was doing R&D in product shelf life extension, we kept our products 100% natural, no chemicals, no preservatives, nothing artificial in it. In fact, we were actually fighting a war against chemicals and preservatives in the food. That really worked out for us. Let me now go to the packaging innovation. You would have seen ID's Vada pack. So let me just explain this to you. In a period of around 10, 12 years, we managed to take ID batter into more than 1 million Indian homes every day. But then, there is no rocket science in making idli batter. There is no entry barrier. Anybody with a 1 lakh rupee investment can actually start idli batter business tomorrow. Innovation was extremely important for us to build a strong brand and to stay ahead of competition and to differentiate ourselves. That's where we started identifying more opportunities. As you know, vada goes best with idli. A South Indian breakfast is incomplete without idli and vada. Vada is a great snack. Kids love vada. But then, vada is one of the most difficult snacks to make at home, unless you're an expert like a grandmother. There are two processes in making vada, or two difficulties in making vada. One is to get the vada batter right. Second thing is to make vada using the vada batter. Vada batter is as sticky as your super glue. Making vada batter at home is not easy. But even if you give vada batter, you still cannot make vada at home. You can't get the shape right for the vada. You can't get the size right for the vada. New generation homemakers like most of you out here will end up frying fingers while frying the vada. And most importantly, the hole. We Indians don't eat a vada without a hole in the middle. A vada without a hole in the middle is called bonda. We identified this century-old problem. We then used common sense to put a hole for the vada. Today, a homemaker can make vada at home, untouched by hand, with a perfect shape, perfect size, with a perfect hole in the middle. That 100% natural, no chemicals, no preservatives, nothing else in it. It is not easy. We failed 100 times, but we didn't give up. It took us 3 years to build a hole for the vada, but we didn't give up. So if you are to look at innovation, we need to bring in a failure culture in the organization. We need to start promoting employees or rewarding employees for failures. That is the only way to build innovative products like vada. Some of you would have seen this vada video. Let me just play this for you, how the vada batter works.
This is no ordinary snack, a South Indian speciality. It's a favorite in homes across India, but its circular cylindrical shape and donut-like hole make it fairly difficult to prepare at homes. It needs the expert hands of grandmas and aunts or even restaurant cooks. Not anymore. ID decided to turn its attention on this age-old problem and transform the complex art of vada making into a science for everyone. And the key ingredient? Common sense. A path-breaking little big invention. The spout that shapes batter into vadas with the hole. And that's it. Squeeze, shape, cut, fry. Handmade, but with no mess, no stress. Just delicious, crispy vadas. ID, maker of India's favorite batters and fresh food, presents Vada Batter in a pack that shapes batter into vadas. Now, everybody can vada.
I can see some thumbs up and claps. It took just 1 second for you to clap, but it took us 3 years to build a hole for the vada. This is how innovation works. You need to be patient. You need to have patience. You need to give it time. You need to promote failures in the organization. In fact, we all celebrate success in the organization, right? If you want to bring in products like vada, the only way to make it happen is start celebrating failures. Because when we failed 99th time, we knew that there is only one more step for success. And we celebrated that. And that's how vada batters won. Techies call it 3D printing of vada. World think it is innovation. But we used our common sense. We used our common sense to identify the century-old problem. We then used common sense to put a hole for the vada. All what you need is common sense to innovate. Now, let me show you my next product. In terms of, I'll come back to that separately. Coming to I talked about product innovation. I talked about packaging innovation. Let me now talk about backend innovation. You would have seen this, right? What could be this one? Praveen, you want to give it a try? This is your traditional stone grinders. right? So let me share a story of this grinder with you. To get best idli, you need to get the best batter. Make the best batter, you need to have the right raw material and the right process. Right process is nothing but the stone grinding technology that our grandmothers used to make at home. The wet grinding stone grinding technology. Now we started with this grinder. This grinder grinds 1.5 kg of dal per hour. Today we grind close to around 30,000 kg of rice and dal per day. You can now imagine the number of grinders required. You can now imagine the number of employees required and the quality concerns issue that comes along with it. And most importantly, hygiene concerns that comes along with it. You would probably need 1/4 of Bangalore to manufacture that many kg of batter every day. That's when we thought we should innovate our backend technology. Technology is also about backend. For a manufacturing company, technology is also about the machinery. Now, as you all know, most of the machineries would be innovated in Germany. I'm talking about the food processing machinery. Mostly it's innovated in Germany. Unfortunately, Germans don't eat idli dosa. So I have nothing to copy from. But then we didn't give up. We still went to Germany. We identified a related product, which is a mustard paste making machine. We took that machine, got it customized, and developed a custom machine to make idli dosa batter at a large scale. Today, a grinder, as you can see in the left side, very small grinder. It's not very heavy. This grinder grinds 1500 kg per hour, almost 500 times better output than the traditional wet grinder. With the press of a button, I am able to clean it. That's where we need to innovate. If you have to really scale up a business, you need to focus on the backend innovation, backend technology upgradation. That's where we really focused on. Today, we make around 60,000 kg of batter every day. And that is made using such heavy duty wet grinders. Otherwise, it will be extremely difficult for me to make batter using the traditional wet grinding technology without compromising the quality. Let me now come to technology. I'm talking about the IT here. There are three aspects of technology here that we use in ID. First thing is about reaching every store on time every day. For that to happen, we first geotagged every store. Today we have 30,000 outlets, 600 routes, 600 salesmen visiting these 30,000 outlets every single day. So we geotagged every outlet to ensure that the right route is followed to reach the store on time every time. We then implemented geofencing. We implemented geofencing to ensure that service availability is not compromised. But then we all know about the importance of data. We used data to sell idli today. Let me now share the story with you. When we started idli batter in 2005-6 time, we were sending 100 packets to the market. 90 used to come back unsold. In a period of 3 years, we started sending around 2000 kg to the market every day, of which 500 used to come back unsold, around 25% wastage. There was no way for me to make this business profitable and scalable with this kind of wastage. That's when we started using data. We started capturing store-wise, item-wise sales and wastage data. We now use this data to predict the right demand for the right store on the right day. Today, we do around 30,000 transactions every day with 10 SKUs. So we're talking about 3 lakh transactions every single day. We have to get all these transactions right to ensure that my wastage is in control. Out here, we use analytics. We use data analytics to predict the right demand for the right store for the right day. We use data to forecast my production. Even in terms of material equipment planning, we use data. So to summarize, 10 years ago, we had 25% wastage, while we were doing around 2,000 kg of batter a day. Today, we do around 60,000 kg of batter a day. In a mature city, mature product, today we run at less than 1% wastage. That is the power of technology. That's the importance of technology. My message to you out here is use technology to sell idli. It's extremely important. Technology is extremely important for you to scale up the business. Coming to the marketing innovation. You would have seen ID's marketing journey. And it has been a case study in many places. So you would have seen this product, Greater Coconut, in a coconut. So let me just play this video for you.
Finally, some news that's not fake. ID presents the world's best packaging for grated coconut. The coconut, grated in the shell for that unmistakable flavor. Hygiene sealed for just grated juicy freshness. ID grated coconut. It's coconut in a coconut.
What I would like you to learn from this campaign is about the product and the way you present it. There's no rocket science in doing this product, but the way we packaged it, which is the coconut, Greater Coconut in a coconut, and then we called it Coconut in a Coconut, that became a huge campaign. Without spending money, this became viral across the world. Let me show you one more such product. You would have seen this Smart Sip Tender Coconut that we launched. With the press of a button, by just squeezing, peeling a sticker, you will be able to drink the coconut water directly. By pressing, you will be able to eat the coconut pulp directly. But that is not innovation. Innovation is something else out here. Innovation is something called KYC. KYC is not know your customer. KYC means know your coconut. Know your coconut before you open it. We have predicted what is inside the coconut without me opening the coconut. As you can see the packaging, we predicted there's the 350 ml of water, 100 grams of pulp, and sweetness level of 4.6 in a scale of 1 to 7. That is marketing. Let me now play this video for you.
At ID, we've always looked around for food problems to solve. This time, we looked up. The tender coconut, a tough nut full of guesswork. Maybe it's time you stop buying them without knowing what you're getting. It's time for coconuts with KYC. Thanks to science and a common sense statistical model, here is ID Smart Sip Tender Coconut with KYC. Know your coconut without opening it. It's hygienic, light and portable, and easy. Feel to drink, push to eat. New ID Tender Coconut that's KYC ready. Know your coconut.
Let me now go to the last part of my session today, which is marketing again, but based on trust. One of our biggest challenge was the packaged food. We were actually trying to sell idli dosa batter in a packaged form. As you all know, idli is the most nutritious food in the world. And we were actually trying to sell that in a pack. We Indians usually don't trust a packaged food. We were actually trying to get the trust of the customers. We want our customers to trust us. That was my biggest problem. What is the best way for someone to trust you? We tried different experiments. Finally, we learned that best way for someone to trust you is to trust them. Trust them so that they will trust you back. With that concept, we launched this beautiful campaign called ID Trust Shop. We launched this campaign in 2016. We set up unmanned trust shops in 4 cities. We had 37 shops in 4 cities in India. This shop had no salesperson. There had no technology. There was no camera. It was not a vending machine. It didn't have a security. There was no one watching except the Almighty God. This shop was based on trust. Customers were expected to open the chiller, pick their favorite product, drop the money in the money box kept next to it, go home and have a healthy breakfast. This was based on trust. Customers couldn't believe it. It got us a great brand mileage. Customers after this started trusting us. What I've learned is if you want someone to trust you, trust them so that they'll trust you back. Again, be the change you wish to see in this world. Trust others so that they'll trust you back. Inspired this campaign, during the lockdown period, 2 months ago, we launched another beautiful campaign called Trust Shop 2.0, second phase of Trust Shop. Let me play that video for you.
You know, history has taught us that trust can always keep people together. See, as my community's welfare manager, I collect everyone's orders, get daily needs delivered, follow up on payments. It's a lot of maths. But I was a history teacher. One day, ID came to deliver their delicious products. And we said, yes, of course. But orders, payments, they said, Uncle, we want your community to enjoy our food first. We know they will pay later. We trust them. No one is checking the payments? Loss-making business, I thought. No, because there is nothing more profitable than selling goodness. Many years from now, they will teach that in the history class. Trust me.
ID Trust Shop Deliveries. Delivering goodness with trust.
So let me summarize my message for you. Innovation is the best way to build a strong brand and to stay out of competition. To innovate, the only thing that you need is common sense. If you have common sense, you will look around, identify customer problems, and solve it using common sense. Sometimes, when you are not able to identify a problem by looking around, you look up. You get to see the coconut. Innovate on the coconut. Innovation is extremely important for the business. Innovation is the only way to run a business, according to me. Me too is bad. Innovation is the only way to run the business and to build a strong brand. Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. I'll be happy to take a few questions for you.
Thank you, PC, for a wonderful session. I'm sure the talk that you gave on innovation, especially in the packaging, in the back-end manufacturing, how to manage the wastage and how to market the products will add a lot of value to us today. And the way you ended with the value of trust, I think that is a very important value that we all should inculcate. And I'm sure today's session that you have given is a good learning session for all of us. So now we'll open this session for questions. Anybody wants to ask questions, you can please raise your hands. Raju, I'll unmute you.
Hey, Mustafa. I don't have anything to ask right now, but I'm very, very impressed by the presentation. I love your smile. I love your attitude. I think this positive attitude is something that we really lack these days. It's amazing. So thank you for it. Thank you for inspiring us.
Thank you.
PC, I have a question. As far as I know, if I'm not wrong, the Malabar paratha that you make has a shelf life of just 4 days.
Yes.
So how do you manage logistics of such products which have shelf life of only 4 days?
So we have our own distribution system. Whatever we actually build this business with a zero inventory business model across. Whatever we manufacture today goes to the market tomorrow morning. And we don't dump the products in the market. We supply the right quantity in the right store on the right day. And that's how we control the wastage. Even then, we get some wastage. And that, we pick it up before expiry. Let's say the Malabar paratha comes with a 4-day shelf life. So on day 2, we pick up Malabar paratha from the store, unsold parathas from the store, and we give it to B2B institutions at a reduced price, wherein I don't lose money. So net, I manage to ensure that customers get the fresh product and institutions get it at a reduced price, and they will be able to use the product before expiry date for sure. And that's how this is built. Common sense.
That's quite innovative.
Common sense in the game, right? That's what you need.
Yes. I'll next unmute Praveen Agrawal.
Yeah, hi PC.
Hey, Praveen.
So this whole distribution network which you just mentioned about the Malabar paratha also, and then delivering the next day of the manufacturing. So all this innovation and the big data analytics which you've done, all the study on the data, all this is with the using your in-house team, or you've outsourced?
So the technology,
data analytics. And
Praveen, I missed you in between.
yeah, please. So I just wanted to know that you've inculcated this entire habit of.
It's a mix of both.
Okay.
So the technology is in-house, or the logic is in-house, or the algorithm is in-house. But we work with different technology partners to get it converted into the executable action items.
Okay.
Next, I will unmute Abhishek Kapade.
Hi, Mustafa. Thank you for sharing everything. It was very inspiring. My question to you is, I come from a manufacturing background, and you stressed and highlighted the importance of innovation and technology and all. But could you share some of your recent experiences, something like, we're all facing challenges of cash flow after the COVID lockdown and all those issues. So how do you plan that this much of funds and this much time and energy and resources to be allocated to innovation from time to time, specifically when the sales, the bottom line, the top line, and other priorities are really, really taking away your bandwidth?
Abhishek, can I do a role play with you?
Yeah.
What would be ID's innovation budget a year?
You opened. You've given me a very open-ended question. Can you give me some options so that I can take the right option? Can we play KBC here?
Okay. 10 crores, 1 crore, 5 crore.
Well, okay, I would say maybe 1 crore.
10 lakhs.
None of the above. Okay. So
And
10
so-
lakhs is your innovation budget annually.
Yes.
Then
Because
I
at
think-
ID,
Then I think we'll have to do one more session with you only on innovation and managing innovation at such a
I'll tell you
competitive
logic
cost.
behind it. I'll tell you logic behind it.
Yeah.
At ID, everybody is an innovator.
Okay.
So I don't have a separate innovation team. I have.
So you
I
don't
have
have an R&D department at all.
I don't have an R&D department. I have a one-member team who collects all his ideas, works with few agencies here and there, and then get it done. And mostly it is, on success. For example, we are now working on a product which is to make dosa at home from the pack, similar to vada. They outsource to someone, right? If they succeed, we pay for it. That's how it works. Now, coming back about your question on how do you manage cash flow and all of them, I'll have to give you a little bit of advice here. We do 100% cash on delivery model, no credit. Except with large retailers like Big Basket or Amazon, right, or your Reliance, where they don't deal with cash. We don't have a credit system at all. It is based on cash. Even today, ID is a zero debt, zero liability company. We have no debt.
Oh, amazing.
I think Darpan has a question.
Yeah. What's the question?
Yeah, Darpan, go ahead.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. It was really nice to see your presentation. It's very inspiring.
Thank
so, may I just know if you may share your SAP implementation partner? On the slide, it said that you are moving from B1 to SAP S4HANA. So please, yeah. So please, if you may share who's your B1 partner and implementation partner, and SAP S4HANA implementation partner.
I'll be able to connect you with. I'm sure that I think we can take it offline. I'll be able to connect you with the team.
Fine.
Okay. Okay.
Next, Ashwin has a question. Next.
Hi, PC. You are wonderful, out of this world. Now I have a question. You said that 99 times you failed on a certain thing and the 100th outcome was successful. I'm sure there could have been a few innovations which did not work and they lost steam on their way. So how is it that you figure out that, yes, I have to keep pursuing this 100 times, 110 times? And how is it that sometimes you feel that, no, 60 attempts done or 10 attempts done, I have to give up?
Yeah.
So how do you get that inkling?
So I think it's mostly based on gut feel.
Okay.
A product like Vada, when you have a dream in mind, right, that I want to get this product which will make Vada directly from the pack. We knew that if you are able to crack it, it will become viral in the world, right? So such products or such innovations, we don't give up. Even if I had to go 100 more times, I would have still cracked Vada. By the way, even after launching Vada Batter, we continue to do innovation on Vada Batter on how to improve it, right? But to your question on how do you have this courage on not giving up, right? Even after 60 times. I think I talked about initially failures. Failures is, it is difficult for us to accept. But if you have to build a product like Vada, you need to start rewarding employees for the failures. You need to start celebrating failures. When you start celebrating more failures, you will have more failures, right? And thereby you get product like Vada. I joined ID almost 4,000 days ago. In the last 4,000 days, I would have failed at least 40,000 times. Every day we make mistakes. Every day we fail. Today I'm able to take the right distance from my experience, but we gained experience from our failures. So if you start enjoying failures, and if you start celebrating failures, you will not give it up. It is difficult, it takes time. It is difficult to digest. Especially for successful people like you, it is difficult to digest. But that's the reality.
Ansh has a question and then Vishal.
And even Piyush and Priyanka have questions next.
Okay. So go ahead, Ansh. Okay. Vishal, can you go ahead and ask your question?
I was just able to unmute myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just got
Ansh.
to
Ansh, you can go ahead.
All right. Hi, Mustafa. Thank you so much for your presentation. It was very inspiring.
Thanks, Ansh.
So my question has to do with like how you look at failures. And although it sounds very, I think it sounds optimistic that you would ask your employees to fail and you would celebrate failures. But then, and I do get where you're coming from. But at the same time, how do you run a company where you're trying to get your employees not to waste resources, and you're trying to streamline your processes, and you're trying to hire people that are only going to focus on the things that are most important. So how do you get both those things done at the same time, where you're trying to get your employees to work on the most important stuff, trying to get things done as quickly as possible, but also promoting failure?
Ansh, I think it's a magical balance. It is not easy, right? Even now I'm learning, by the way. It's not easy, but from my experience, once you have the support from the top, if a CEO is supporting, innovations and failures, right? And of course, it has to be calculated failure. It should not be like, everybody is promoted to fail. Right? What I mean, right? It has to be calculated failure. In that case, you will get the right output. But let me tell you one story here, which I've learned from my prof from IIM Bangalore. A role of a manager is to kill the wrong project at the right time. Right? So if your gut feel says you're in the wrong place, kill it immediately. Don't wait for. So let me also share a story of the same thing with you. This was 4 or 5 years ago. We had worked on developing a chutney mix, veg chutney for Indian market. It was a great product. It took us around 2 years to build the right chutney mix. Once we launched the market, it didn't work out. Right? After 2 years of trial in the market, we were left with chutney contributing 1% of revenue, 25% in losses, 0% growth, and 100% the headache. That's when we decided that we were not going to continue with chutney. But we knew that chutney is a good product for us to launch in the market in future. So we will come back with chutney at a later stage. That time we didn't get it right. So even if I give up, if I'm confident about this product, right, I will continue to do the experiment. That's my summary for you. Again, I don't think I have a clear-cut answer for it. It's a magical balance.
Next, I'll request Priyanka.
By the way, ID is a highly systematic company. We have systems, process in place, but then we also encourage them to fail sometimes. I'll tell you what I mean by encourage them to fail sometimes. For example, one of the employee would have tried something, right? He would have failed. We will ask him to share with us. So such failures will help us to learn more.
Next, Priyanka, can you ask your question?
Hi, PC. I just wanted to know when ID launched its restaurants in cities, how did you manage to differentiate your product? Because your product was a very general item which is practically made in every South Indian home, and yet you all were able to probably come into competition with established stores like a Sarvana Bhavan or a Ananda Bhavan or a Diyar Bhavan. So, I mean, how did ID as in market itself and differentiate its product, even though technically the product was very similar to what was being sold?
Yeah, I would say 3-4 things that really worked out for us. One, the product.
Okay.
Product was a hero. We didn't have a superstar as a hero. We had a celebrity as a hero. Our product was a superstar. Second thing, we got the packaging right. Right, the product looked like this is a premium product at an affordable pricing. Third, placement in the stores. Fourth, our direct distribution, self-owned distribution system, and daily replenishment with the store. That gave us confidence. That gave retailers confidence, and customers started getting more fresher product every day. Right, and we somehow managed to build a brand during this time. So, of course, people pay premium for the brand. Let me share the story as well with you, or my take on the brand building as well with you when you ask me this question. Today, ID is a $200 million brand. In the last 10 years, we spent less than $1 million for the branding and advertisements. We don't advertise much. We don't spend much money on marketing. To build a $200 million brand, we spent $1 million in 10 years. How did we do it? We focused on 3 aspects. It's like a triangle. Just remember this point. 3 aspects of the triangle. First thing is the product. You need to get the product right. So let me try to explain this to you by taking an example of vada again. Vada is very crispy. It's very soft inside. It's a good mouthfeel. You get good aftertaste. It's not very heavy. You feel like eating one more vada. Kids love vada, right? So it's a great product as it is. That really worked for us. Now, second part or second corner of the triangle is about memorable user experience. So first thing is the hero product. Second thing is about memorable user experience. Let me try to explain this to you. Rohit, if you don't mind, can you mute? There's a lot of background noise. Rohit, yeah, thank you. Let me take the vada example again. We don't sell vada. We give vada batter. Homemaker like you picks up vada batter, squeeze the vada batter, get the vada out in the right shape. The moment the vada batter was coming out in the round shape, that was like a wow moment for most of the customers. For many customers, this was the first vada in their life they made. Kids started making vada using this one and taking selfie and posting on different social media platforms. What I've learned is you don't remember advertisements, but you will not forget your first time experience. Something that you've done for the first time and a wow moment out of it, something which you will not forget. So memorable user experience played an extremely important role for ID. Third and probably the most important part is well-crafted storytelling. It took us 3 years to build a hole for the vada. We failed 100 times. We shared the story to the world. I got an opportunity to share this at Harvard Business School, and I shared the same story out there. Those stories went viral across the world. So to build a brand, don't spend money. Spend money only on these 3 aspects. 1, creating the hero product. Second, giving that memorable user experience that they will remember for the lifetime. And well-crafted storytelling. That is the best way to build a strong brand and to stay ahead of competition.
Next, I will request Vishal Gautam to ask his questions.
Hi, Mustafa. Amazing, amazing story. I have absolutely no words, and most of us are amazed the way I am. Mustafa, every organization, the success is really dependent on the team that you have. And what was the mantra of motivation for the team? Because I would love to know that, because creating leaders is a big task. And how was your journey? Because that is something I would like to take away.
So Vishal, is again, it's a tough question. I don't think I have a clear answer for it, but let me tell you my experience of doing it. Maybe I'm not an HR expert. We did a couple of things right. One, we were a family-run business, and we knew our limitations. We were kind enough or smart enough to identify our limitations, and then agree that we need the need for professionalizing the organization and bringing experts from the market, right? And giving up our so-called authority is something which we did in the last 5-6 years. Second, we look for people who are aligned with the values. When I say aligned with values, we look for people who want to make a difference in this world. We were actually fighting a war against chemicals and preservatives. There are many of us who have lost our near and dear ones for the cancer, right? And how did that happen? Mostly because of the bad eating habits, chemicals and preservatives in the food. So people who are being affected, in my case, I lost my uncle. So such people who want to make a difference in the world and promote healthy eating, we pick up such smart people and bring them on board. And third, we give up our own stake. To attract and retain the talent, best talent, we make them, shareholders in the company. That works out. So I would say these three parts. We don't pay much. I mean, we don't pay peanuts. We pay, but it is not very high compared to the market standard. Probably we are on par with market. But to retain and to attract and retain the best talent, these are three tricks that we used.
Thanks. Next, I'll ask Piyush to ask this question.
Thanks. Hi, PC. My question is again regarding branding, and two examples that you showed about creating trust and associating the word trust with your brand.
Yeah.
So when you actually did this thing, what was the actual outcome of the experiment? I would say it was kind of an experiment in which you put out the idlis out there for people to just pay and take it without any security or anything of that sort. So what was the actual...
Let me share the latest story with you, latest numbers with you. We are running today in Mumbai, we are running around 400 trust shops in apartment complexes. The same concept, trust shop deliveries, right? Let's say my product MRP is 100 rupee. On an average, 21-22 rupees goes to the retailer margin. And then there is around 3 to 4% wastage on average. So you get around 75-76 rupees net realization minus GST. GST I'm not counting yet. So your net realization including GST will be around 75-76 rupees. When we are running the trust shop campaign, customers pay on MRP. There's no wastage. In the last 3 months, I'm getting 90. Me getting 75-76 rupees for every 100 rupee product. I'm getting 96-97 rupees. Highly profitable. Indians are trustworthy if you trust them.
Very well said. Thank you.
I strongly believe other brands should replicate trust-based business model. There's huge opportunity. Yes, Abhishek?
Mustafa, with the way you're going, the way you stress on innovation, this is just a quick question from people like me and some other people on the go. Obviously, vadas are deep fried, so we refrain from eating it so often. But can we expect something from you on the future front where you're getting vadas which can be roasted and eaten, so that the nutritious benefit is also there? And
Yeah, so we actually did some trials. In fact, we're also doing some trials. It's not easy to crack, but we will. But we're actually now working on a lot of, packaging packaging, the products in a different way, so that packaging delivers some functionality. For example, today you get my idli dosa batter in a pack. Can I develop a packaging for idli dosa batter so that by squeezing the butter, squeezing the idli dosa batter pack without a spoon, can you make dosa directly?
oh, quite
We're
interesting.
working on that.
Yeah, because I think the world day by day is getting conscious, and deep fried stuff is really being a no-no thing, or a weekend day, or a cheat day. As the
Abhishek, let me
nutritionist.
also tell you. Let me also tell you a secret.
Yeah.
Vada is not contributing anything for me in terms of my revenue.
Okay. Just
Vada is very, very small for me.
very small. Yeah. Okay.
Right? But then that gets you mind share. That's my hero product. It is not revenue generation product for me.
PC, I have a question.
Sure.
PC, I have a question. If I'm not wrong, the packaging of vada and all the other packaging also are 3-layer laminates. So is there some, say, a 5-year, 10-year plan to shift to environmental friendly packaging?
Yeah, we're working on it. But so far, I couldn't crack. If any of you have any solutions, please write to me. I'll be the happiest person to implement that in ID, even if it means loss of profitability.
We'll take last 2 questions.
PC, I have a question.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't have been into this business, then what you would have been doing?
So Rohit, tough question, but let me try to attempt it, right? If you look at my childhood, I had a dream. My dream was to eat 3 meals a day. My dream was to eat breakfast every day. Today, I'm part of a team who delivers or who helps more than million Indians every day to eat world's best breakfast, idlis at home. It is not by chance, it's by choice. I don't think I have any better product or better business than idli business, considering my background.
PC, I have a question. Most of your product range is, say, from South Indian cuisine. So is there some market opportunity in North Indian cuisine which we all can explore?
So that's our weakness. We don't have many products for North Indian cuisines as on today. But once we start our operation in North, we just started operation in Delhi market. Once we start and start growing that market, we will definitely have to look at products from that range.
Thank you.
And Shul,
yeah.
You said you also want me to cover about COVID, right? Or do you,
Yeah. So I was about to ask that what different innovation have you done in, say, last 3 months where every one of us is stuck with this COVID situation and problem?
Could be, is this the last question?
Yeah, that's the last question.
All right, okay, cool. So my take again, let me share this with you. We all have read about it, right? This message. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yes.
Now, COVID could be considered as a crisis, or it could be considered as a challenge. As a businessman, when I have a challenge, I will find ways to solve it. I'll come out of it. So let me attempt, a post-COVID scenario and how this will affect us. And I'll end with a story, which happened in the last 3 months again. When you have a challenge, world will become a better place. So during 2009 crisis, we have seen zero capex business models coming through, like Uber, like Airbnb. Beautiful business models came through. I think you will see that happening. Coming to India, there's a lot of negative sentiments against China. Probably this is the best time for us to position ourselves as world's manufacturing hub, and all of us benefiting out of it. I'm from Kerala. Coming to my state, Kerala managed to build the brand Kerala in handling the COVID in the last 3-4 months, the beautiful way. Probably there's a huge opportunity for a brand from Kerala to come up with world's best healthcare systems. Maybe organic food, maybe even an ID tender coconut. Possible. Coming to businesses, last 3 months, I've learned a lot. I've learned to do more with less. There's a lot of unnecessary things in my company that we managed to get rid of and build better business. We have seen in the same city, same product wise, if I look at, we have seen close to 30% growth quarter on quarter, just because we cut down unnecessary things. We learn to do more with less. Individually, for me, I'm spending last 4 months of my time with my parents at Wayanad. I became a better son. I've learned a lot. I've learned that there are things that money can't buy for you. I've also learned that we have a lot of limitations. I also have learned to be more caring and giving. And I'm a very spiritual guy. I'm sure my God loves me more these days, and I love him more these days. So overall, I think you will find a better world, a better India, a better state, better businesses, and better human beings. This around 2.5-3 months ago, during the lockdown period, I was having lunch with my mom and my dad, of course. While having lunch, I casually asked my mom about a helper who used to work with us earlier. I called her Itta. Itta means aunt. So I casually asked my mom, how is she doing? By the way, she used to work with us 10 years ago. She is a widow and she had a special kid. So my mom casually called up Itta, and she was chatting with her. After the chat, I casually asked my mom, can I talk to her? Can I talk to Itta? She gave me the phone. I asked Itta, how are you doing and all of that. And she said, Bacha, I'm okay. Then I asked her, did you eat? Khana khaya? She started crying. She started crying not because she didn't have anything to eat. In fact, she had lunch before I called her, and she had food kit left for the next 1 month. But she cried because she felt there is someone to take care of her. She cried because there's someone thinking about her. That's a moment that we both will not forget during our lifetime. I want to share the story to some people at least. So I told my marketing team that come with some creative, with a good message to share the story with the world. So my team came up with a beautiful video, and this video had close to around 5 crore views without me spending money. So let me play this video and end this message for you.
Hello?
Hello, ma'am. Sunil here. 10th B, 2005 batch.
Sunil.
Sunil Kumar.
Ah, yes. Sunil Kumar. How are you, beta?
Fine, ma'am. And you?
I'm okay. Managing. Are you okay?
Actually, thought of the day when you saw me hungry and drinking water from the tap. You never let me go hungry after that. And your words brought love and comfort to me. It's my turn now, ma'am. खाना खाया क्या?
When mom asks you khana khaya, she means I love you. But when you ask someone khana khaya, it means you remember. You care. You're sharing the love of a mother. So call your elderly neighbors, your colleagues, friends, and family. Let them know you care.
Thank you again for this wonderful opportunity. God bless you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thanks, PC. Thanks a lot for your time and patience for handling our questions. And it was very, very inspiring session. I mean, we listened to a lot of speakers, but then it has been one of the best sessions we ever had. And personally, to me also, it was very inspiring. And I'm sure most of us who heard you, who listened to you, would take back a lot of learnings and will try and implement in our personal and professional life. You had been a great speaker, and we just love your smile, and a huge and true respect to you, and look forward to keep learning with you in future again. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, PC. Please unmute all. Vinod, if you're there.
इधर आओ. चलो सुन लो इधर. खड़ी हो जाओ जल्दी से. बेटा जल्दी से आ जाओ. इस सामने मतलब ये यहाँ पे.
You can unmute everyone now.
Yeah, I did.
Anshul, Rohit, well done.
Yes.
So good event, yeah.
Well done, guys. Some great takeaways. Thank you.
Great event.
Thank you for getting it along. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Right.
So no liquor was required for Puneet, huh?
पुनीत तो गायब ही हो गया यार, उसने अटेंड कहाँ किया?
पुनीत तो वो लिकर मिसिंग देख के गायब हो गया.
Ciao guys. Ciao. Bye.
Some great takeaways from the guy. No doubt he's achieved it.